Hi there, and welcome back to our final topic of the Club Optimized preview program. Today we're talking about stress and cortisol levels. Cortisol has been referred to as the stress hormone, and even though cortisol is a beneficial hormone, it's what's responsible for the fight or flight that we feel when we need it. Our body can't always be in fight or flight mode. What ends up happening is you secrete so much cortisol that you suffer damage to the receptor sites, and then it takes more and more cortisol to exhibit the same effect. The body eventually decreases the receptors and you become less and less sensitive to that hormone. And then the body produces more and more of it, and so on and so forth. You can see here a visual representation of how the brain, through the pituitary gland, sends a signal to the adrenals. The adrenals kick out cortisol into the bloodstream, and then the cortisol goes to all these end target organs. When it goes to your stomach, it's going to slow down digestion, gets you tunnel vision so that you can really focus, accelerates your heart rate, increases your breathing, you'll sweat more, have higher blood pressure, and your liver is going to kick out some glucose so that you have the energy to run from that dinosaur. This is an adaptive response. It's fight or flight. This is how your body responds to stress. But the long-term side effects can be quite dangerous. You will block insulin eventually so that the glucose can't get into cells. And even though your liver is kicking it out, it's going to get stored as fat. You will have decreased protein uptake, poor muscle, bad metabolism, decreased immune system with prolonged excessive cortisol. Stress affects your cortisol hormone levels. If you look back at this graph here, in response to stress, this is getting sent, this signal to your adrenal glands, which kicks this out, adrenaline and cortisol. Sleep. If you aren't getting adequate sleep, then you are most likely not going to get a nice cortisol peak in the morning. That is going to be what is responsible for waking you up, and so you're going to wake up really groggy. If you have a drop in your cortisol throughout the day, it could be that you're over-secreting in the morning, and then you don't have enough left, you don't have enough steam left to get through your day. Typically, I see this in people who come home from work and sit down on the couch and want to fall asleep. Testosterone peaks overnight, and if you have a high level of cortisol going on, then you're going to suppress your testosterone. You're going to have more fatigue and loss of libido. Alcohol decreases REM sleep. If you decrease REM sleep, you decrease testosterone, you're going to increase your cortisol levels. Drugs like amphetamines can stimulate this overproduction of cortisol by inducing a fight or flight response that's constant. Your body will over-release this cortisol stress hormone. Elevated cortisol levels will lead to loss of testosterone. We just discussed that. Things that you can do to support your cortisol. Meditation and stress reduction will decrease the signal from the brain to the adrenal gland and hopefully decrease the amount of cortisol you're kicking out. Getting good sleep. We talked about sleep hygiene in topic 2, and regular sleep schedule, a good sleep environment, and sleeping or trying to keep your sleep schedule at the same time each day to promote a normal circadian rhythm is key at having sleep benefit your cortisol levels. GI health. Your gut and your microbiome have a lot to do with your neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which can help decrease the effects of cortisol. Nutrition. If you are taking in good micronutrients with B vitamins, magnesium, that is providing some anti-inflammatory measures. Also, adaptogens will regulate your cortisol production. And if you make sure that you're not overly aggressively fasting. I see this a lot in younger women who are trying to lose weight. They want to decrease the amount of calories they're taking in so intensely that it can actually cause elevation of the cortisol levels and throw everything out of whack. Overtraining in the same light can cause you to secrete more cortisol and cause chronic stress on the body. Sometimes you need a rest day. Sometimes you need to take that intense weight training day and substitute it for a Pilates or a yoga day and get some relaxation. DHEA is another hormone that helps balance cortisol. DHEA is a precursor to our sex hormones. It comes before testosterone and It comes before testosterone and estrogen in that cascade. In premenopausal, 75% of our estrogens come from DHEA, eventually being converted down to estrogen. Once we hit menopause, 100% of it comes from DHEA from our adrenal glands and gets converted down. Here's a good chart that shows how our DHEA declines with age. You need this for good brain function. DHEA is a prohormone, not only responsible for testosterone and estrogen production, but is also responsible for our mental cognition. Some of the side effects of DHEA are undesirable. The dosing in men is much higher than that in women. Women tend to have side effects of acne and hair growth if they're overdosed on DHEA. I typically will start women off at 2.5 milligrams a day and titrate up to about 5 milligrams a day as tolerated, whereas men I'll typically start at about 25 milligrams a day to 50 milligrams a day. There's a stress support protocol here on FullScript that I've included that have a lot of adaptogenic and micronutrient formulas in there that can be helpful for controlling stress, and a lot of these also sub in being helpful to promote good sleep. So that brings me to the end of our stress and cortisol topic and the end of our Club Optimize preview program. I really respect that you stuck with me through the whole thing. This is a lot of information. One of the things we do in Club Optimize is we take each of these categories and break them down how they specifically apply to you. I make sure that you understand exactly how your body is responding to each of these factors, what it means for you, what you can do to modify these factors to help improve your longevity, your health span, and your overall happiness. And we work together to get control of all these factors and help you move towards your goal of being a healthier person as you age. So I hope you enjoyed the content of this free program. I am here for you if you have any questions. You can either reach out to me through the messaging feature on Body Site or just drop me an email. I'd love to chat with you about your specific issues. Goodbye. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.